What if I told you that a simple, common habit, something many of us do every single day without a second thought, could be silently accelerating the aging process inside your brain? Especially after the age of 60, our brains require more mindful care. Yet this widespread behavior might be undermining our cognitive health more than we realize. We often worry about major diseases or genetic predispositions when it comes to brain health, focusing on things that feel largely out of our control. But what if one of the biggest threats is something far more ordinary, something woven into the fabric of our daily routines? It sounds alarming perhaps, but knowledge is power. Today, we're diving deep into groundbreaking scientific findings that shed light on this very habit. We won't just tell you what it is, we'll explain how it impacts your brain cells, why it becomes particularly detrimental as we age, and most importantly, what you can do about it, starting today. Don't dismiss this as just another health warning. Understanding this connection could be crucial for maintaining your mental sharpness, memory, and overall brain function for years to come. Stay tuned, because uncovering this hidden risk and learning how to counteract it might be one of the most proactive steps you take for your long-term cognitive well-being. This isn't about fear, it's about empowerment through understanding. Let's explore this vital topic together. So what is this pervasive habit silently wreaking havoc on our aging brains? It's not necessarily about diet or lack of physical exercise, though those are important too. The habit we're focusing on today, backed by growing scientific evidence, is chronic social isolation. Yes, spending too much time alone, lacking meaningful social connections, and feeling lonely can significantly accelerate brain aging. This might surprise you. In our busy world, solitude can sometimes feel like a luxury, a welcome escape. And indeed, occasional solitude is healthy. But we're talking about a persistent lack of social interaction, a feeling of being disconnected from others over the long term. Humans are inherently social creatures. Our brains evolved to thrive in communities through interaction, communication, and shared experiences. When we are chronically isolated, our brains miss out on crucial stimulation. Think about conversations. They require us to listen, process information, formulate responses, read social cues. It's a complex mental workout. Without regular social engagement, certain neural pathways can become underused and potentially weaken over time, much like muscles atrophy without exercise. This isn't just a feeling. Studies using brain imaging have shown correlations between loneliness and changes in brain structure and function, including areas related to memory and emotional regulation. It's a quiet threat precisely because it often creeps up unnoticed, disguised as a preference for quiet or a consequence of changing life circumstances like retirement or loss of loved ones. Let's delve a bit deeper into how social isolation actually impacts the physical structure and function of the aging brain. It's not just a vague feeling of sadness. There are tangible biological consequences. Research suggests that chronic loneliness can trigger a persistent stress response in the body. This involves the release of stress hormones like cortisol. While short bursts of cortisol are normal, chronic elevation can be detrimental. Elevated cortisol levels over long periods have been linked to inflammation throughout the body, including the brain. This neuroinflammation is increasingly recognized as a key factor in cognitive decline and the development of neurodegenerative conditions. Furthermore, social isolation has been associated with reduced volume in key brain regions, such as the hippocampus, which plays a critical role in learning and memory formation. Imagine the hippocampus as the brain's librarian, organizing and storing new memories. Chronic stress and lack of stimulation from social interaction can impair its function and even cause it to shrink over time. Additionally, loneliness can affect the brain's white matter, the wiring that connects different brain regions and allows them to communicate efficiently. Damage or changes to white matter integrity can slow down information processing and impair cognitive abilities. So the feeling of being disconnected isn't just in your head. It can physically alter the very organ responsible for your thoughts, memories, and personality, making it age less gracefully. The connection between chronic social isolation and accelerated brain aging isn't just theoretical. Numerous large-scale studies have demonstrated a strong link between loneliness and an increased risk of cognitive decline and dementia, including Alzheimer's disease, especially in individuals over 60. People who report feeling lonely or socially isolated consistently perform worse on cognitive tests, measuring memory, attention, and executive function, like planning and problem solving, compared to their socially active peers. This isn't just a small difference. Some studies suggest that the impact of social isolation on dementia risk can be comparable to well-known risk factors like smoking or lack of physical activity. Why is the link so strong? Beyond the direct physical effects on the brain, inflammation, volume changes, social engagement acts as a form of cognitive reserve. Engaging with others keeps our minds active, challenged, and flexible. Learning new names, following conversations, debating ideas, sharing emotions, all these activities build and strengthen neural networks. When we are isolated, we miss out on this vital mental stimulation, leaving our brains more vulnerable to the effects of aging and potential disease processes. Furthermore, socially isolated individuals may be less likely to engage in other healthy behaviors. They might have less motivation to cook nutritious meals, exercise, or even seek medical attention when needed, further compounding the risks to brain health. The evidence is compelling. Nurturing social connections is not just good for the soul, it's critical for preserving cognitive function as we age. While social isolation can affect anyone, individuals over 60 often face a higher risk, making this habit particularly relevant for our discussion. Several life transitions common in later years can contribute to increased isolation. Retirement, for instance, can mean the loss of daily social interactions with colleagues and a disruption of established routines. Children may move away, creating geographical distance. Friends may relocate or pass away, shrinking one's social circle. Physical limitations or health problems can make it more difficult to get out and socialize, leading to involuntary isolation. Hearing or vision loss can make communication challenging and frustrating, sometimes causing individuals to withdraw. Furthermore, the loss of a spouse or close partner is a profound life event that often leads to significant loneliness, especially if the individual lacks a strong support network. Societal factors like ageism or lack of accessible community programs can also play a role. It's crucial to understand that this increased vulnerability isn't a personal failing. It's often a consequence of navigating the complex changes that accompany aging. Recognizing these specific risk factors allows us, as individuals and as a society, to be more proactive in identifying seniors who might be at risk and offering support and resources to help them maintain vital social connections. Awareness is the first step towards prevention and intervention. Since chronic social isolation can be such a subtle threat, how can we recognize its signs, both in ourselves and in the older adults we care about? It's not always about literally being alone all the time. Someone can feel deeply lonely even when surrounded by people if they lack meaningful connections. Signs in oneself might include a persistent feeling of sadness or emptiness, a lack of interest in activities previously enjoyed, difficulty initiating social contact, feeling misunderstood or disconnected even when with others, or relying heavily on passive entertainment like television instead of engaging activities. You might find yourself making excuses to avoid social gatherings or feeling drained rather than energized after interacting with people. In others, especially older adults, signs might include withdrawing from social events they used to attend, neglecting personal hygiene or household chores, sometimes a sign of depression linked to isolation, expressing feelings of worthlessness or being a burden, frequent complaints of boredom, significant changes in mood or personality, or a decline in conversation and engagement. It's important to pay attention to these subtle shifts. Sometimes individuals may not explicitly say, "I'm lonely," but their behavior and mood can indicate underlying isolation. Being observant and initiating gentle, non-judgmental conversations about how someone is feeling can open the door to understanding and offering support. Don't ignore these potential warning signs. The good news is that combating social isolation and protecting your brain health is achievable, often through simple, proactive steps. It's never too late to build or rebuild social connections. Firstly, be intentional. Schedule regular social activities. just as you would schedule an appointment. This could be a weekly phone call with a friend, joining a book club, volunteering, taking a class at a local community center, or attending religious services. Leverage technology. Video calls can bridge geographical distances with family and friends. Online groups or forums dedicated to hobbies can provide connection with like-minded individuals. Don't be afraid to learn new tech skills. Nurture existing relationships. Make an effort to reach out to old friends or distant relatives. Even small gestures like sending a card or an email can strengthen bonds. Engage in your community. Explore local senior centers, libraries, or volunteer organizations. Participating in group activities provides both social interaction and mental stimulation. Pursue hobbies that involve others, like joining a walking group, a choir, a card game club, or a gardening group. Don't hesitate to ask for help if mobility or transportation is an issue. Explore community transport services or ask family and friends. Finally, focus on quality over quantity. A few meaningful, supportive relationships are often more beneficial than many superficial ones. Start small, be patient with yourself, and prioritize activities that bring you genuine connection and joy. We've uncovered a crucial, often overlooked aspect of brain health today: the profound impact of social connection. The science is clear. Chronic social isolation isn't just an emotional burden. It's a physical habit that can accelerate brain aging, increasing the risk of cognitive decline and dementia, particularly after 60. But armed with this knowledge, we are empowered to act. We understand why connection matters. It stimulates our brains, reduces harmful stress responses, and builds cognitive reserve. We recognize the signs of isolation and know the simple, actionable strategies we can implement to combat it. This isn't about drastically changing your personality or forcing yourself into uncomfortable situations. It's about making conscious choices to nurture the human need for connection in ways that feel authentic to you. Reach out to one person this week. Explore one community group. Initiate one conversation. Small steps, taken consistently, can make a significant difference to your brain's health and your overall well-being. Don't let this vital aspect of healthy aging remain on the sidelines. Prioritize connection. If this video resonated with you or made you think about someone you know, please share it. Like the video to help spread this important message, and subscribe for more evidence-based insights on aging well. What's one step you plan to take to boost your social connections? Share your ideas and experiences in the comments below. Let's support each other in building a more connected and brain-healthy future. Thank you for watching. Stay connected, stay sharp.